Hello, I'm Fernando DaSilva, I'm the creative director of John Bead, and I'm here at the Beadaholique headquarters in California to teach you how to create this beautiful pair of chandelier earrings applying Chinese knotting technique. You're gonna feel beautiful, modern, and ultra hip. You're gonna love it. We're gonna be making a pair of earrings featuring a double coin knot created with Chinese knotting techniques. A couple of years ago, I wrote this book of teaching how to use different Chinese knottings and turn them into jewelry. So the book was published by John Bead, and you can see that I showed in the booklet how to use the knots first, and I personally select the best knots that they can be turned into accessories. So you can apply them into jewelry, but also you can apply them into clothing wear. The book, after I finished showing how to use the knots, how to do the knots, I teach you 3 projects that you can apply these interesting knots. One of my favorite knots is the knots that I'm going to be using now. And we're going to be creating these earrings that use the double coin knot. The double coin knot is pretty much like symbolizes longevity and prosperity, and it's pretty much like features 2 ancient, like antique Chinese coins overlapping together. So the cord is very important when creating designs with Chinese knotting. So the cord cannot be too stiff, but cannot be too flimsy. For that, we're going to be using lovely knots. That's the cord. That's a cord that comes in bobbins of 20 yards and comes in 2 different sizes, 2 millimeter and 1 millimeter. To make your jewelry or your statement piece more visible, I recommend that you should use the 2 millimeter size because it makes it more substantial and you can see what you're doing with the knot. We're going to be using 2 different colors. We're going to be using the strawberry pink and the ivory color. We're also going to be using some of the drops from the Tropical Punch line by John Bead as well. We're going to be adding some beautiful end caps by TierraCast, and also these wonderful pinch bells, little pinch bells that we're going to cut pretty much the top part and just using the bottom, attach it to a jump ring. And of course, some people do this knotting just holding, the cord on their hands. I like to use the board because also you can visualize what you're doing with the cords and see which weave and which cord is going over each other. So we're gonna cut 4 pieces of cords in 22 inches. We're gonna need 2 pieces of 22 inches in strawberry pink and 2 pieces in ivory. Once you cut your cord, the first thing that I would suggest you to do is to stiffen the ends. And to do that, I'm going to use nail polish, just a clear nail polish that you can buy in any pharmacy. And this is going to help you to weave in and out the cord during the process of creating the knots. So you just add a little dab of maybe a half inch or 1/4 inch, at the end of each cord, and then you let it dry. Magically, I have already our cords dried. See, I have 2 pieces of the strawberry pink. And then I'm going to start using the board and some pins to hold it down the shape that you're creating, so it makes it easy for you to see what you're doing. So first, we're going to do this counterclockwise loop. The bottom portion of the cord, I'm going to be calling the running ends A. So you're going to see in the book that this is the portion A, and the top part, or the running end, the top portion of the cord, this end I'm going to be calling then B. So you're going to see in the book this is the A, and you're going to pretty much be weaving and work with the B section of the cord. I'm going to be using here 2 cords, and then we're going to add 2 more cords on a different color, just following the thread. So here have your loop. Remember, it's counterclockwise. And when you lay these 2 cords, you need to make sure that they do not overlap, because that's not going to make it really pretty. So you need to make sure that they're sitting next to each other, not overlapping each other. Okay, so I'm going to pin down the center of this portion of the knot first. And when you pin down, you don't need to pin down exactly like pass through the cord, because you don't want to damage the cord. You just slightly touch the edge of the cord so you can keep it that shape in perfect format. Okay, now we're going to pin this top loop. You're going to start making a second loop, but before that you pin at this place both cords, and then you move your running cords B over 2/3 of the big center loop, and then under the running cords A. So this is running cords A and this is running cord B. Now we're going to go and make a loop around the outside of the pins, the 2 pins on the right, and then you're going to go with one of your cord ends. You're going to pick this one, and then you're going to go over, and then you can use a pair of pliers, flat nose pliers, to go under. So you went over this portion of the second loop, then you're going to go under that first loop, the center of the first loop, and then you're going to cross this portion of your knot. And then you're going to go over on the opposite side of the main loop here. So you pull one first. Now you're going to repeat the same one. Since you run your first cord, now it make it easy for you just to follow, like track with the cord, this same movement. So we're going to go under, and then we go first over, now under, over, and under again. This is pretty much the design of your loop. So this is a double coin loop, but now you need to adjust the shape, right? So in the size. So I would say you can unpin the top portion, and then you just start sizing, adjusting. Make it smaller, just leaving enough room for you to add the second color. Okay, so here is, you have your knot pretty much done. But now I want to add the second color of cord that we're using. That's the ivory. I already did the ends. You can see that stiff, and then you're going to do the same thing. So you're going to go, I would say let's start here, because it's easy for you to realize. Let's add up in the center, and then you just follow this cord, the pink one, the outside pink. You go under the running cords A, let's work with just one end, and then you can adjust and bring the other side. So now we're going to go over this portion and under again, the center. Okay. Then to help me, I'm going to grab that tip of the cord with my pliers. Then you go over and under again. Again, make sure that The cords are sitting next to each other, parallel, beautifully. They're not overlapping. Then, since you make this movement, now you're going to start working with this portion, the portion, I would say, the opposite end of the same cord. So let's do this. Let's grab the tip and go under. The space is a little bit tight, but it's doable. It just, remember, Chinese knotting requires a lot of finesse and light hands and patience. If you can combine there, you can create beautiful designs. So I'm going to grab this step. So I'm following this cord. So I'm going to go around. Then I need a little more of cords. So let's pull a little more of the opposite side. So we have more cords to work with. Following this cord, so we're going to go under the top loop again, and then coming down here to the center. Here, and we're going to go over. And then under. At the end, we're going to adjust all strings of the cord separately. Let's just add the second ivory cord, and let's try to do the same, just repeat the same thing over. Start here. Now you're going to follow the ivory one, your first one. Over, go around. Under the running cords A, 3 of them. Then now it's tricky again, but we can do it. We'll go under this portion and over the opposite side, and then let's go around. Grab the tip of the cord and let's pull it over and then under again. You can double check to see if all is good. Let's just finalize the last loop. Gonna go here, then I'm gonna go under again. Then you pull over and under and over. Okay, now I have my 4 cords apparently sitting nicely, but I'm gonna have to make that adjustment on the palm of my hand. So I'm gonna unpin this portion, and what I'm gonna be doing is that here you can see, I'm going to put it against the cork so you can still see the shape of the double coin knot, and then I'm going to start pulling it. You just randomly start working one side until you have all like symmetrically done and that beautiful knot done on the palm of your hand. See, all the cords, again, they need to sit next to each other. No cord can overlap on another, otherwise it's not going to keep the shape of your knot. then I'm pulling the inside, the inner strawberry, then I pull the next one, then I'm going to do the same with the ivory, and then the external ivory one. So it's smaller, it's getting smaller and smaller. Now let's do the same with the center loop. The inside chord, the second outside chord, the third one, the last one from the outside. Okay. And again, we're using this chord, but in reality, Chinese knot can be done with many different round chords. And I would recommend to you to use at least 2mm or 3mm size, because then makes really visible and you can see nicely the shape of what you're making. Then you pull here, tight. See, it's getting smaller and smaller. One more. And I want a little bit smaller, so let's see. So here you have your double coin knot. So this is pretty much the body of your pair of earrings, of your chandelier, but I want a little bit tighter. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to keep doing again. I'm going to use actually this chord, inside strawberry, and pull the second strawberry, the next ivory chord, and the last one. Then I'm going to do once again to tighten this center, this part of the knot. So then I will pull these two. Got to a point when they get to a size, this size is really good because you can really manage the entire knot at once. Then I'm going to close this portion too, so I can do again the inside strawberry, the second strawberry chord, third chord is the iron, the last one. So this is a great size for our earrings. Okay, to keep this shape, the shape of your earrings really nicely, because you know this is a nylon, mixture of nylon and cotton cord. So you need to make this area stiff, and I do that using again nail polish, and I use a clear color. You're gonna make one, you don't need to add the nail polish on both sides, you just add in one side, because this side is gonna be the back of your pair of earrings. You just need to make sure that you cover the entire surface, and this, all this area where they cross and they are weaving in and out or intertwined, those are the areas that you want to make sure that you get some nail polish, because it will hold the shape much longer. Once you add beads, it's going to add weight, so it's definitely like a must to do in order to add little drops. And remember, we're going to be adding drops that are made out of acrylic, so they are very lightweight, so they're perfect combination for this type of design. It's going to make this, because we're using fairly light pink, it's going to make both colors a little bit darker. So that's the reason that at the end we're going to flip, and this is going to be the back of your earrings. Okay, now we're going to let it dry for 5 minutes, and then we're going to trim the top part that we're going to add this, we're going to glue onto one of those bead caps. And now I'm going to trim the cords of both sides of our double coin knot, and I would recommend you to trim like 3/4 of an inch above of this top curve of your double coin knot. So that's going to give us pretty much like here. And you can cut one by one, or if you have a wonderful, really sharp pair of scissors, you can cut both of them together. So now that I cut this portion, I will bring that towards the center, and then I cut the opposite side. And remember, we're going to be gluing this section, all these cords together onto a bead cone end. You can see that there is a little bit of a waste of the cord, but it's better to have more cords so you can make and shape up your double coin knot than not have any. So I really wouldn't recommend you to work with less than 20 inches for each of the cords that you're going to be using. And now we're going to glue, put all this together, both parts together. You can always tape them together to make sure that they fit properly inside of your cone end. Remember, this is this portion that we glue, we cover with nail polish, but the front of your earring is going to be the portion that there is no nail polish at all. So this would be the front of your earrings, okay? So let's tape it. We want this really tight, and then we trim the excess as well here. We're gonna use E6000. Again, this is not an instant glue. I'm gonna just add a little bit of the glue inside of the cone end. And you're going to push it onto the cone end, the component. You can always use a pair of pliers. I always have a pair of pliers next to me because they always help with so many applications. So this is the body of your earrings. Now we're going to add the acrylic drops. We're going to be using 2 different sizes of drops, again from this collection, Tropical Punch. And then we're going to use like a long one in the middle and 2 short on each end. To make it pretty and look better, like more professional, we're going to use one of these pinch bells. But I'm going to get rid of the top section, just snipping that off. Simply snipping off with a cutter, pair of cutters. So I'm not going to use that because we're not running that onto a chain or a cord. So we don't need that. I just need that loop that I'm going to add to the earrings through a pair of jump rings. Now we're going to do, you can always grab the pinch bell and then open up with the tip ends of your pair of pliers. And then this, you don't need really a pair of pliers. You just put around both holes and then you squeeze it. So then it makes really nice finish. If you want, you can always add a little dab of glue, of your favorite glue, just to make sure. But I don't do it because I want that move freely, okay? It's better than having that drop really stiff. I'm going to do this, repeat the same with the other 2 drops. Really adds a nice touch of the metal element, and they really look good. Okay, you have 3 of them ready to go, and then you're going to attach them on the pair of earrings using jump rings. The longer one goes in the center. And then here's the trickiest part is you're gonna add not only through one strand, but both strands of your outside cord. That in this case is the ivory color, okay? So we can always hold one side of the jump ring and then close with the other side. So you have, this is the center one. And don't worry about the shape, because as you add your drops, then you can adjust, make sure that all of the strands of cords are sitting next to each other. None of them is overlapping, like I said many times, but this is really makes the difference. Let's add the other 2 drops. Same fashion. Then you're going to add here on this portion on the right. Going to add that. And then you're going to add the second one. You can always use 2 pairs of pliers to open your jump rings, or your fingers if you have strong fingers. Second, and this is the third drop. We just created this portion now, so it's not it's almost dry, but it's not completely dry. But here you can see the difference. This is going to be the front of your earrings, and this is the back. So now we're going to add our ear wire. So we're going to use one of these ear wires that is very simple, but it's like the French ear wire style, and comes with this really cute ball, you know, at the end. It's just add a little touch of design to the piece. And then we're going to use another jump ring to attach to the cone end. Close it, and then you add to your French wire. And up slightly. And remember, you want this portion. And here you have one of your earrings made. Back, and this is the front. And the coolest thing is that you can create any color combination. The cord comes in 13 different colors, and I'm just going to show you that this project actually is, I didn't step out these earrings on the booklet, but they appear here. This is a variation that I created with brown and turquoise. And I use a fairly large Swarovski crystal in the center with 2 plastic beads on each side. So it's the same design. This is a variation that I just created for you, our Beadaholique customer. And I hope you enjoy.